pressure again. Bosa's got it. Bosa is unblockable.
Nick Bosa just throws him into the backfield.
As to who is the favorite to go first overall next year's draft, Ohio State defensive nightmare Nick Bosa.
Knocked backwards and brought down at the one by Nick Bosa.
First things first, let's put in perspective just how good Nick Bosa is.
When he's on that field, he's a dominant pass rusher. You like Joey Bosa with the Chargers, you love Nick Bosa coming out.
I think he's the most complete player. I think outside of quarterback, pass rusher is the most important position on the field. I just think he's ready now.
He's not just one of the best defensive players in college football, he's one of the best overall players in college football.
His work ethic, his ability to dominate on the field, how much his teammates love him.
He's an elite pass rusher, exactly what you want to close out games. And I think Nick Bosa is the best player, but he had the injury as a senior. He had this injury as well. Durability is a concern.
It's going to be brought up. How much of a factor do you think it is going to be that he decided not to return for a team that had a chance to play in the national semifinals?
He had a significant injury, and he had a surgery. And I think doing what Nick did was common sense. He wasn't quitting on the team. He was doing what's best in his interest. He had no other choice.
You have Nick Bosa not only at the top of your big board, but also at the top of the draft.
Nick Bosa going #1 overall to the Arizona Cardinals.
I think he's got a really good chance to be the #1 overall pick.
The pocket is going down, and that's Ed Oliver with the sack. Ed Oliver in there again. My goodness, they just can't stop him.
Here's the most impressive thing about Ed Oliver. You watch him on film, he tracks the ball across the field like a linebacker at 290.
Interior pressure of Ed Oliver from Houston. Oliver can get after the quarterback, that up-the-gut presence. He was spectacular from day one as a true freshman.
This guy's an impact player. Big games against ranked opponents, he steps up and becomes a difference maker. He had 6 sacks against 4 ranked opponents.
At the end of last year's draft, a lot of people, including yourself, looking at Ed Oliver as the first overall pick. What happened?
Those Aaron Donald comparisons were exaggerated. Now he's more of a mid-one than an early one.
Not a great finisher as a pass rusher, and he's going to have to improve his hands in the NFL.
It's going to be very interesting to see what kind of pro he becomes. Somebody will take him in the mid-first round if he's still available.
ETN is going to be wrapped up and knocked down by big Quinnen Williams and company for a loss.
Quinnen Williams, you could make an argument he's the best player in this draft.
Great strength and incredible first step quickness.
From his end zone. Pump, and he's taken down. Quinnen Williams. That's one way to add some points.
Quinnen Williams ran a 4.83, the best by any D lineman at this combine.
It just shows you the explosiveness that he has. And yes, it was 1 year, but it was one dominant year. He was the best defensive player in all of college football this past year.
Choice wrestled down by Quinnen Williams. That big bear of a defensive tackle making a play. As the ball batted down at the line into traffic.
Inside, he was destructive. He was a guy who would kill double teams. He would hustle and plays to the sideline.
Quarterback keeps it, and Story fumbles the ball. Quinnen Williams forced it. Thompson with the recovery.
I'll be shocked if he gets past the 3rd overall pick.
He's arguably the best player in the draft.
Trying to step up, and he's taken down. Christian Wilkins leading the way.
You need it the most. You go to the All-American, Christian Wilkins. So difficult to block him on the inside.
Wilkins at 315 pounds with that kind of cat-like quickness is tough.
Wilkins, you're getting versatility. You can play him inside, you can play him outside, you can move him around. He'll play fullback for you in red zone, goal line. He'll do anything.
Give me the guy that has a joy to play football.
Call him a disruptor, not a sack artist.
At times flashed with that elite playmaking ability, but he wasn't consistent.
More of a mid-one than an early one.
The Browns think that they're going to try to find a playmaker up front, and Wilkins, I just love the way this guy plays the game and the motor that he brings.
Now Ian Book, look out, and he gets buried by Clelin Ferrell, top defensive end in the country this year.
Clelin Ferrell is another edge rusher in this class, another guy that can get off the ball quickly.
Here comes the pressure. And Clelin Ferrell gets the sack.
And he's ferocious. You see him change direction there like a cat.
He's got great hands, really productive the last 2.5 years at Clemson.
You look at Ferrell on
Third down. This kid really has a nose for the football.
Dungy's dumped by Clelin Ferrell.
Clelin Ferrell actually would have tackled either guy. This is the best pass rusher in the ACC, one of the best in the country. Led the league in sacks and tackles for loss.
And a second keeper. Ferrell was there quickly. It'll be 3rd and long.
Simmons had the back, and Ferrell had the quarterback. That play had no chance.
Did tell us early in the year it's pronounced Ferrell, like referral.
Right. This is a delightful guy. I mean,
yes,
really.
So you would give him a good referral.
Yeah.
They get to him there without the pressure. Daniel Jones swung around, and finally he'll be dropped. Clelin Ferrell.
I just think for the Panthers it makes a lot of sense. They need a left tackle, they need a corner, they also need an edge rusher, and Ferrell will be there. I think at that point, this is right around the range where he winds up going.
The ground, Clelin Ferrell, ACC's Defensive Player of the Year, was in his face.
Ferrell could be a first-round pick.
Won the Ted Hendricks Award, best defensive end in the country.